In recent years, conversations about spirituality have often been met with skepticism, especially when placed alongside the precision and rigor of science. For many, the two seem like opposing forces, one rooted in logic and empirical evidence, the other shrouded in mysticism and subjective experience. But what if, instead of existing as separate realms, science and spirituality were seen as complementary, each enriching the other? This video seeks to explore that intersection, offering insights into how practices often deemed spiritual are, in fact, supported by scientific research and how they can transform our mental and physical well-being. Consider this. Studies show that mindfulness practices can reduce stress hormone levels and even alter the brain structure in ways that enhance emotional resilience. Yet, such practices have historically been tied to spiritual traditions, leading some to dismiss their value in favor of solutions deemed more scientific. But science now confirms what spiritual practitioners have known for centuries. These practices work. They don't just improve emotional states temporarily. They can rewire the brain and change how we respond to life's challenges. This exploration isn't about adopting a belief system or engaging in esoteric rituals. Instead, it's about reclaiming tools that have been shown to improve our lives and understanding them through the lens of modern science. For instance, practices like meditation, gratitude journaling, and mindful breathing are not only accessible to anyone but are also backed by robust studies highlighting their efficacy. By the end of this journey, you'll not only gain a deeper understanding of the tangible benefits of spiritual practices, but also see how integrating them into your life doesn't require abandoning logic or evidence. The beauty lies in their simplicity and universality. They are tools designed for everyone, regardless of background or beliefs. Let's begin by addressing one of the biggest hurdles: the skepticism that keeps many from exploring these transformative practices. How did this divide between science and spirituality come about, and why is it so important to bridge it now? Skepticism toward spirituality has deep roots in the history of human thought, often tracing back to the Enlightenment era when reason and science emerged as dominant forces. This intellectual revolution, while monumental in advancing knowledge and technology, drew a stark line between what could be measured and what was deemed intangible. Spirituality, with its subjective nature and reliance on internal experience, was increasingly relegated to the realm of the irrational, dismissed as an artifact of outdated beliefs. As scientific inquiry flourished, it reshaped our understanding of the universe and improved countless aspects of human life. However, the growing emphasis on empirical evidence inadvertently created a divide. Practices like meditation or gratitude, integral to many spiritual traditions, were viewed as unscientific or even superstitious. The focus shifted almost exclusively to external solutions, medical advancements, technological innovations, while the internal, subjective experiences often went unexplored in mainstream discourse. Fast forward to the modern day, and this skepticism still lingers. Terms like mindfulness or energy alignment can provoke eye rolls in some circles, especially among those who associate them with pseudoscience. Yet, the irony lies in the fact that many of these practices are now being rigorously studied and validated through the scientific method. Research from neuroscience to psychology has begun to unravel the mechanisms behind why these seemingly intangible methods yield measurable, tangible results. The need to bridge this divide is more urgent than ever. We live in an age where stress, anxiety, and burnout have reached epidemic proportions. Modern life often prioritizes productivity over well-being, leaving many feeling disconnected from themselves, from others, and from the present moment. It is in this context that spiritual practices, supported by scientific evidence, offer a lifeline. By approaching spirituality through a scientific lens, we can strip away the mysticism that often alienates skeptics. This perspective allows us to see these practices for what they truly are: practical tools for cultivating a balanced and fulfilling life. With this understanding, we can move beyond the binary of science versus spirituality and step into a more integrated worldview where both coexist harmoniously. Now that we've addressed the roots of skepticism, let's turn our focus to the scientific evidence itself. What happens in the brain and body when we engage in spiritual practices, and how does this translate into improved well-being? The human brain is a marvel of complexity, capable of adapting and evolving in response to our environment, thoughts, and behaviors. This adaptability, known as neuroplasticity, is at the heart of how spiritual practices can reshape our minds. Far from being abstract rituals, these practices engage specific neural pathways, creating measurable changes that directly impact our mental and physical health. Take meditation, for example. Studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, have shown that regular meditation strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and emotional regulation. Simultaneously, it reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, which governs our stress response. This dual effect helps individuals remain calmer under pressure and more resilient in the face of adversity. But the benefits aren't limited to the brain. Meditation has been shown to lower cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress. Chronically elevated cortisol can lead to a host of health issues, including high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and disrupted sleep. By integrating mindfulness into daily routines, individuals often report better sleep quality, a more robust immune system, and even lower levels of systemic inflammation, a factor implicated in many chronic diseases. Another scientifically supported spiritual practice is gratitude. Neuroscience reveals that practicing gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin levels, the brain's feel-good chemicals. Expressing gratitude, whether through journaling or reflection, activates the brain's reward system, reinforcing positive emotional states. Over time, this shift in focus from scarcity to abundance can create a profound sense of contentment and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Even the simple act of mindful breathing has profound physiological effects. By intentionally slowing the breath, the parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest system, is activated, counteracting the fight or flight response. This simple practice not only calms the mind, but also lowers heart rate and blood pressure, promoting overall cardiovascular health. Emerging fields like psychoneuroimmunology are further bridging the gap between science and spirituality by showing how mental states influence physical health. Studies indicate that practices promoting emotional well-being can enhance immune function, reduce inflammation, and even improve recovery rates in patients with chronic illnesses. What makes these findings particularly powerful is their universality. Spiritual practices don't require expensive equipment, complex training, or a specific belief system. They are accessible to anyone willing to invest a few moments each day. Science is now validating what ancient traditions have long taught, that our mental and physical well-being are deeply interconnected and that nurturing one inherently benefits the other. Having explored the evidence, it becomes clear that spirituality is not an abstract concept but a set of practical tools rooted in science. However, misconceptions persist, and breaking down these myths is crucial to making these practices more widely accepted and accessible. Let's address some of the most common misunderstandings next. One of the biggest barriers to embracing spiritual practices is the misconception that they are synonymous with mysticism or superstition. For many, the word spirituality conjures images of incense-filled rooms, esoteric rituals, or vague, intangible beliefs. While these associations may be true for some, they are far from the essence of what spirituality can mean in a modern, practical context. At its core, spirituality is about cultivating a sense of connection, whether to oneself, to others, or to the world at large. It is not about adhering to a specific doctrine or subscribing to ideas that defy rational thought. Instead, it is about fostering inner balance, clarity, and emotional resilience through practices that are both simple and accessible. These practices are grounded in techniques that can be observed, measured, and replicated, making them far removed from anything mystical. For instance, mindfulness, often dismissed as New Age, is, in reality, a highly systematic approach to focusing attention. Originating in ancient traditions, it has been adapted and studied extensively in clinical settings, proving its effectiveness in managing stress, anxiety, and even chronic pain. Similarly, gratitude journaling, often seen as a sentimental exercise, is backed by neuroscience as a powerful tool for rewiring the brain's focus toward positivity and resilience. Another common myth is that spirituality requires a significant time investment or drastic lifestyle changes. In truth, practices like mindful breathing or gratitude reflection can take as little as 5 minutes a day and still yield profound benefits over time. The key lies in consistency rather than complexity. By reframing spirituality as a skill rather than a belief, we can open the door for more people to explore its benefits without feeling alienated by preconceived notions. With myths dispelled, we can now focus on the practical steps anyone can take to integrate these practices into daily life. Let's explore how these tools can be seamlessly incorporated into even the busiest of routines. Incorporating spirituality into daily life doesn't require sweeping changes or elaborate rituals. Instead, it can be as simple as weaving small, intentional practices into your existing routine. These practices, though seemingly modest, can have a profound cumulative effect on your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. One of the simplest yet most effective practices is mindful breathing. This technique involves taking a moment to focus solely on your breath, its rhythm, depth, and movement. For example, a quick exercise like inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4 can help calm the nervous system in just a few minutes. This is particularly useful during stressful moments, such as before a meeting or when facing a challenging situation. Another transformative habit is maintaining a gratitude journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to jot down 3 things you're grateful for that day. These don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as enjoying a warm cup of tea or a kind word from a colleague. Over time, this practice trains the brain to seek out the positive, fostering a mindset of abundance and reducing feelings of anxiety or dissatisfaction. Mindfulness can also be seamlessly incorporated into everyday activities. Take, for instance, the mundane task of washing dishes. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on the sensation of the warm water, the texture of the soap, and the rhythmic motion of your hands. This practice transforms an ordinary chore into a grounding moment of presence, helping to center your thoughts and reduce mental clutter. Creating a morning ritual is another powerful way to anchor yourself. Begin your day with 5 minutes of intentional practice, such as a brief meditation, a moment of gratitude, or a few stretches to connect with your body. This sets a positive tone for the day ahead, boosting clarity and emotional resilience. Even amidst a busy schedule, it's possible to find micro-moments for connection. Pause before meals to appreciate the nourishment in front of you. Take a moment to step outside and breathe in fresh air, or simply close your eyes for a minute to reset your thoughts. These small acts, repeated consistently, can create a ripple effect that enhances your overall well-being. Practical spirituality is not about perfection or rigid adherence to rules. It's about experimenting with what works for you and adapting these tools to suit your unique lifestyle. With these simple strategies, anyone can begin to experience the transformative power of integrating spirituality into their daily routine. To deepen our understanding of how these practices impact real lives, let's explore some inspiring stories of people who have embraced this journey and reaped its benefits. Sometimes, the most compelling evidence for the power of spiritual practices comes not from studies or theories, but from the stories of individuals who have experienced profound transformation. These accounts illustrate how integrating mindfulness, gratitude, or other spiritual tools can create meaningful change, even in the face of life's challenges. Consider Maria, a 45-year-old professional who struggled with chronic anxiety and burnout. Juggling a demanding job and family responsibilities left her feeling constantly overwhelmed. After attending a workshop on mindfulness, she decided to try a 5-minute breathing exercise each morning. At first, the practice felt insignificant, but over several weeks, Maria noticed she was better able to handle stressful situations at work. Over time, her anxiety subsided, and she reported feeling more in control of her emotions and energy levels. Then there's James, a 52-year-old recovering from a major health scare. After a heart attack, his doctor recommended mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, as part of his recovery plan. Initially skeptical, James reluctantly began practicing gratitude journaling and meditation. Within months, he not only felt calmer but also saw improvements in his blood pressure and overall heart health. James now attributes his renewed sense of purpose to these practices, which have become a cornerstone of his daily routine. Stories like these highlight the universality of these tools. Whether someone is facing a health crisis, emotional turbulence, or simply the everyday pressures of modern life, spiritual practices offer a pathway to resilience and healing. What's particularly inspiring is how these individuals adapted the practices to fit their specific needs and circumstances, proving that spirituality is not a one-size-fits-all solution. These real-life examples underscore the tangible benefits of consistent practice. They also serve as a reminder that even small steps can lead to significant change. By embracing these tools, individuals can reconnect with themselves and transform their approach to life's inevitable challenges. As we reflect on these stories, it's clear that the long-term benefits of spiritual practices extend far beyond momentary relief. Let's now explore what you can expect from consistent practice over time and how these habits can shape a brighter future. Integrating spiritual practices into your daily routine is not about seeking instant results or quick fixes. It's about committing to a process of gradual transformation that unfolds over time. Much like physical exercise, the true benefits of spirituality become evident only after sustained effort and consistency. But with patience, The rewards are profound, not just in terms of mental and emotional health, but also in the way these practices impact your overall outlook on life. One of the first noticeable effects is often a reduction in stress. Through techniques like mindfulness meditation and controlled breathing, the body's stress response is lessened, resulting in a lower baseline of anxiety and tension. Over time, this leads to improved emotional regulation. You become better equipped to handle stress without being overwhelmed by it. Rather than reacting impulsively to life's challenges, you develop the ability to respond thoughtfully and with clarity. Another long-term benefit is emotional resilience. With regular practice, you'll notice that you bounce back more quickly from setbacks. Meditation and gratitude have been shown to foster an attitude of acceptance and adaptability, which can be invaluable when facing difficulties. Life's inevitable ups and downs no longer have the power to destabilize you in the same way. Instead, you develop a sense of inner peace that acts as an anchor in turbulent times. Physical health also benefits from these practices. Chronic stress is a leading contributor to many health problems, including heart disease, insomnia, and digestive issues. By incorporating mindfulness or other spiritual practices, you can reduce the physical impact of stress, improve sleep quality, and enhance your immune system's functioning. Some studies even suggest that regular meditation can lower the risk of developing certain chronic diseases by promoting healthier lifestyle choices and reducing inflammatory markers in the body. As these physical and emotional changes take root, you might also experience a shift in your overall sense of well-being. Many individuals report feeling more connected to themselves and others, as the practices help cultivate a deeper sense of presence and empathy. Gratitude, in particular, fosters an attitude of abundance rather than scarcity, leading to improved relationships and a greater appreciation for life's simple pleasures. In the long run, these practices help create a ripple effect that extends beyond personal well-being. When you cultivate a sense of calm, clarity, and compassion within yourself, it naturally influences the way you interact with the world. You become more patient, more understanding, and more equipped to contribute positively to your community and society at large. While the benefits are powerful, they do require time, patience, and a commitment to the process. The key is to stay consistent, even on days when it feels challenging. Over time, you'll begin to notice shifts in your mindset, emotional responses, and physical health. Small but meaningful changes that contribute to a more holistic, balanced, and fulfilling life. Now that we've explored the long-term benefits, it's time to reflect on the broader implications of this journey. What happens when we begin to embrace the integration of science and spirituality, both in our personal lives and in the world around us? How does this convergence shape the future of well-being? Let's explore this idea further in the next chapter. As we come to the end of this exploration, it's clear that the integration of science and spirituality is not just a passing trend, but a necessary evolution in our understanding of well-being. Throughout this video, we've seen how practices long considered spiritual, such as meditation, gratitude, and mindful breathing, are being supported by modern scientific research. These practices are not mystical or disconnected from reality, but practical tools grounded in evidence that have profound benefits for our mental, emotional, and physical health. The skepticism that once surrounded spirituality is being gradually dismantled as more studies confirm the positive effects of these practices on the brain and body. As a result, more people are beginning to embrace them, not as a form of esoteric belief, but as everyday tools that can enhance their quality of life. The future of well-being, it seems, is not one where science and spirituality are at odds, but one where they coexist and complement each other, creating a more holistic approach to health. By understanding the science behind these practices, we empower ourselves to approach well-being in a way that is both rational and transformative. Whether we're managing stress, improving our emotional resilience, or enhancing our physical health, the tools provided by spirituality, when embraced with an open, evidence-based mindset, can become a cornerstone of a balanced, fulfilling life. It's important to remember that these practices don't require drastic lifestyle changes or major sacrifices. They are small, simple steps that anyone can incorporate into their routine, regardless of age, background, or belief system. Whether through a few minutes of mindful breathing each day, a gratitude journal, or a quiet moment of reflection, these practices allow us to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us in meaningful ways. As we move forward, it's crucial to continue bridging the gap between science and spirituality, fostering a greater understanding of how these disciplines can work together to promote holistic well-being. The more we embrace this integrated approach, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the complexities of modern life with resilience, clarity, and peace. In conclusion, The convergence of science and spirituality is not about choosing one over the other, but recognizing that they can both coexist and enhance our lives. With the right practices, backed by solid evidence, we have the power to take control of our well-being in ways that are both practical and transformative. The journey toward a more balanced, harmonious life begins with small steps, and the tools we've discussed today are the first of many in helping us unlock our full potential.